Hello, Americans. Before we get to part 2 of our lecture, I want to make corrections first. I think in part 1 of the lecture I was talking about the 13th degree, with it, which is the Royal Ark of Solomon. I didn't present things correctly in that degree. Hiram Abiff, the great legend of Hiram Abiff, was that Hiram Abiff died building the temple for King Solomon, and that is the like a big history, a ritual that the Masons go through when going in through the Blue Lodge. Within the first three degrees, they're taught this myth, which again is a myth because it hasn't been proven. Now, Albert Pike has said it himself in Morals and Dogma that it's not about the myth. The point we're trying to get across to the initiate is the actual bond to secrecy, to the pact. At this time, they have no idea what they made a pact with, or evil deity or anything of that nature. They don't even have a clue about that, but they do know that this legend Mason died in this temple, and the lost word of God was in there, and supposedly 3 Jews killed him, asking for the secret word of the true word of God, and he supposedly told them after the temple was built and finished that they would learn the true word. So they went and they attempted, to extort the word out of them, hitting him over the head 3 times, I believe, with the mallet or some other different Mason craftsmanships, utensils, and he died, and lost word was going with him. He didn't give the secret up, going through this supposed death. So that's supposed to be teaching them, the brethren, and to keep the secret. And it's really a big legend that Hiram Abiff, I think I actually said King Solomon died in the temple. It was supposedly Hiram Abiff who died. Also, I want to talk about the 25th degree, I believe it is, Night of the Brazen Serpent, with which is actually, I think, going to be on part 2 of this lecture. I made a reference to Christ and them defaming Christ. I don't think I presented that in the right way, because what they were doing was comparing Christ to someone like Gandhi, influential person, someone who just walked the earth, maybe a prophet, never, the Lord begotten Son, never that. So, when they bring the crucifixion into play, it's from Babylonian, Perusian, Sumerian times, where they talk about resurrections and crucifixions. Just trying to say, basically, like way before Christ, people were, being crucified, and resurrection God, the fertility God, would, bring them. They would rise and be immortal, become an immortal status. That's the big thing about, that's what the G symbol actually means within Masonry. It's not the true architect of the world. It doesn't mean God. It means generating principle, the active and passive. The compass is actually the male gender, and the square at the bottom is actually supposed to represent the female's gender. In Masonry, the center of the circle is the most important point, which is supposed to be the sun. Again, bearer of light, Lucifer, but actually it's all about sex. It goes back to sex. The compass coming down upon the point, the middle point, and the rotation of the compass projects sexual motions and creations, and along with that, and the equinox and the Egyptian tablets of destiny, that, depending on your future, they can see into the future and learn about keeping immortality going on. So that was basically the corrections I wanted to make on that 13th degree and the 25th degree Night of the Brazen Serpent. So let's jump right into part 2 of our lecture.